Alright. Looks like I am live on YouTube and live on Twitch. So, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to today's Daily Peek. Why am I getting notifications? My voice dropped. That was more threatening than I wanted it to be, and I was just talking to my phone. Jeez. Oh god, I've opened the Epic Games launcher. Oh no. Oh god. Oh, Genshin Impact? What are you talking about? Fortnite? They're gonna get me. The Fortnite balls. Anyway, I have closed that down, thankfully. Hey everybody. I had a bit of a roughie yesterday. Lot of like chores to do. That was kind of my day. Um Still tired. Um But I had Pathfinder last night, and that went amazing. I'm gonna talk about it almost certainly. So let me boot up the game. And I've got to take my meds. Today is Friday. And I will be taking them with this Lost and Found Energy Blue Rush energy drink. Oh! Oh my god. That was awful. Oh, that burns just a little bit. Oh my god, ow. Oh, okay, it's fading. I, I cracked it, and there was more pressure than I expected. And it just went right into my eye. Jesus. That sucked so bad. Oh my god. Oh, my eye still feels weird. Jesus. I think it's turning blue. No, that's just the light. Thank God. Oh my god. The sun came out for like half a second, and things looked just a little bit bluer. And I was ready to freak out. Oh, that's so uncomfortable. Alright. Hey, Digi. Hey, Pyrite. Also, yesterday I had Pathfinder game. Tillian mentioned heart emoji. Because we were talking about okay, last week's game. Things were mostly fine, but we ran a haunt I didn't really understand, and got stuck in a rules vortex. Just kind of debating how things should work and not fully like understanding what can and can't be applied to this. Um, and we were making jokes like right around the beginning, and it was like, okay, we're running another haunt here, because of course we are. There's like 4 of them in this house. Uh, and I don't want it to end up like last time, so if it takes too long, I will just give you guys like free invokes of the extra dimensional powers. Because one of the notable things is if you really want to, you can make deals with the dungeon masters to invoke characters from other campaigns. And I kind of offhandedly mentioned, and it's like, like Tillian would probably be one of the most powerful summons, but you could never do it because you got to say the character's full name in order to summon them. And no one remembers Tillian's full name. Not a single person. Let me just look up the phrase full name. Yeah, right. Tillian's full name is Tillian Karamip Elowick Lorilla Kalel, Inky Zarangel Milo Pelil Melela, Kalen Philel, Catherine Knackle, and Catherine Knackle. That's the end of the sentence. But like, Tillian never said it out loud to the other people in the group. I've said it a couple times on stream, and the players having that knowledge counts. But like, Hroldan Whitecrest keeps popping up places. And Tillian was like Hroldan's prime student, like apprentice, basically. Which means that Tillian almost certainly would have some absolute bullshit abilities if you were to summon a Tillian. But the problem is, in order to summon the fucking scion son of the Whitecrest Industries, the fucking personal apprentice of an interdimensional inventor, you have to remember a name that is 14 words long. And they aren't, like, related to each other. And I think that's so funny. Because there's not 15 goddamn. But like the main cost of invoking a character from another campaign is like making deals with the dungeon master, and then you also have to like say the full name, and you've hit a point. You've hit a point where you have a character with an excessively long name where you don't know if making a deal with a devil or trying to remember the name is the harder part of that exchange. Ow! Oh, I just elbowed my fucking desk. Ow. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start up the game. But like, yeah, Pathfinder yesterday went great. Ouchie. Oh my god. Ah! Alright, there we go. I forgot to take my vitamins. I gotta take my vitamins also. B12. And... D, because I don't go outside. Ah, shit. I just realized I don't actually remember the last time I went outside. That's a little sad. I should do that today. I should schedule some outside time. That when you can't remember, you know you've hit a threshold. Anyway. Yeah. Notably, aside from the like running the haunts, which went pretty well. I ran them a little bit more like puzzles and was a little more forgiving about rules things. And there was a combination of incredibly good and incredibly bad rolls. So people were just on opposite ends of the luck spectrum. It was beautiful. But yeah. So notably, there was, the first haunt that the players had to encounter, before, like, getting into, like, the secret basement, where the next thing was. It was a, like, defensive haunt, and its whole thing was just, it is the strong memory of a guy, trying to get a pursuer to flee. I won't specify, because none of you know who the Iron Tibia is. Much less the Vampire Tibia. But yeah. So this guy was shouting at her to get back, and the effect that the haunt had was basically, as a reaction, when someone tries to open this, like, secret door the guy tried to flee through, the haunt turns up, and it, has an ability that flings everyone back. So you have to make a fortitude save, or else you get flung back, like, I think 10 feet, 20 feet if you fail. And if you crit fail, you also get slowed. And, like, you fall prone. And in that situation, we had one guy succeed, and the remaining 3 people in the room crit failed. Getting knocked prone, knocked back a lot, and, getting, like, slowed. So there was one person with a full 3-action turn. Everybody else only had 1 action per turn. I don't know how I got hit there. What? I originally thought this was going to be another hellish scenario, but the one person that still had 3 actions, thank God, was Liminal, and Liminal is a great player. So he had the fun idea of, basically used the, like, 50 feet of hempen rope, which comes standard in all adventurers' kits, and lassoed the, like, magical expert of the group, and pulled them over to the haunt so they could, like, disenchant the trap, when it came to their turn. And that was such a funny idea that, like, I didn't look too hard into the mechanics. So it was just like, you know what, yeah, fully, this is just your turn. You get to lasso your good friend. Even funnier, because all of these characters are chronically gay. And that means that bondage jokes immediately came up. because this motherfucker was pulling a real bondage gym scenario. Y'all ever heard any bondage gym jokes? The first one I ever heard was, like, it was, a group of people in an unlikely situation, the sinking of some ship or whatever. I was watching an engineering disasters podcast about it, and notably, one of the, like, things that happened was, like, yeah, no, basically everyone on the ship, like, all of the soldiers were American, but the, like, local area, the people only spoke Flemish. And, so no one actually knew, like, what any of the announcements that were being made were. So the guy was, like, abandoned ship over the radio. No one knew what he was talking about, because he was saying it in Flemish. So it sounded like Abroen sloop or whatever. That's me trying to actually approximate the words. I think I got them right. And it's like, it sounds a little bit similar, but if you don't know, like, that's kind of what you're supposed to be hearing, you're not gonna get that. And it had the fun situation of basically one of the, like, major things that needed to happen in order for literally anyone to get out safely, was the captain of the ship spoke no English, needed assistance in, like, getting some knots tied down, and non-specifically, they were like, well, no one spoke English, there was one guy who was familiar enough with rope work and spotted what the captain was trying to do and was able to assist. And immediately it was just like, why is that a skill this random guy has? Like, it's probably Boy Scouts or something, but it's just like, did they fucking enlist Bondage Jim? And it's like, everyone's been making fun of him until now. And I love the concept of a Bondage Jim type character so much. The guy with one weird skill that does not come in handy until it is the most essential thing that you need to know in a situation. And it's like, yeah, old Bondage Jim ain't so fucking stupid now. Fucking love that idea. Like, yeah, you were all making fun of me. Little did you know my Shibari interest was going to save your lives. Oh my god. So now Bondage Jim is my favorite character, and I come up with similar kink-related characters anytime a, like, exceedingly unlikely skill is needed in a scenario that could be filled by any fetish I am aware of. Because fucking Pet Play Paul is out here like, oh god, we need, like, something in order to attach these two things together, and no one has any, like, rope or glue. And fucking Pet Play Paul takes his collar off. This is why we need to let more people be weird, you know? Because you never know when you're going to need Shibari Jeff's knot tying expertise. You know, it's cultivating skills that you wouldn't otherwise cultivate, and people are better off for it in ways that you'd never expect. You know? So we'll need to stop making fun of, Foot Fetish Kyle, and think about the unusual skills he is cultivating. Which may one day save our lives. Foot Fetish Kyle could very well save you from disaster. But yeah. Anyways, Liminal's character had a bondage gym moment. It was like, none of you fuckers thought my knot tying expertise was gonna come in handy. Watch and learn! Lasso's the, like, magic expert. Magic expert is able to, sap the energy from the haunt. Well, technically, the sniper sapped the energy from the haunt, with the assistance of an aid roll from the magic expert. But still, they needed to be right there. Oh, hi, another flag. Nice. I probably don't need this many bandages. And then everyone went to the basement. And when they went to the basement, it was covered in cages and chains. That was funny at first. And then some characters who basically had fucking ESP in that moment noticed all of the incredibly hungry vampire spawn, which had been trapped down there for 2 weeks, and were invisibly waiting to ambush them. It's like, oh, this is suddenly a lot less fun. Everyone was very worried about this whole situation. Then the magic expert, who is a divine spellcaster, fully just kind of pointed a finger at 2 of them, and they died instantly. It's like, oh yeah, I do vitality damage. Instant death. It was beautiful to watch. Also, there is a fairly important NPC who has essential information for the characters. And the only reason that she survived this encounter was because the players decided to spend some time after the encounter going like, okay, so what do we do with this one that's like clearly the leader of this like little gang because they're the only one with the token image? Are we like, I don't know, gonna torture them in some weird way? We've left them half alive here, so we have the opportunity for torture, and I'm just sitting here like, you guys need this person to like you. At least a little. I didn't say that so overtly, but jeez, I was scared. It's like, hey, if you guys decide to dust this vampire, the campaign grinds to a screeching halt for a hot minute. I don't need that bandage either. I have rescue claw is not the reason I don't need a bandage. Rescue claw, inventory, checkpoint flag, bag. There we go. But yeah. It was a really nice session. I loved it. Oh, I once again revealed. I mean, yeah, fair. The expectation is actually that the players do like normal fatal damage to this character, and then she returns to mist and reforms in her coffin. So the fact that she was kind of just unconscious, and they did have the opportunity to inflict final death on her, is actually unintended by the game. It's like, you were supposed to kill her. Everyone was expecting you to kill her. It's like, yeah, no, we could go out and show her the sun, or like, you know, something like that. And I have to communicate through every, like, language of game design means that you're supposed to save this person. It would be very funny. That's the problem. Because it would be so funny. Because absolutely ruining my day with that would be hilarious. And that's why I couldn't be like, hey, you're supposed to keep him alive. Hey? Because if I showed any outward sign of anxiety, it's the trigger for the trap. That's... If I show fear, the bear trap activates. So I use, like, language of game design to, like, imply that this character has valuable information that maybe you should keep them around for. Like, sweating. Sweating desperately. Not... The thing is, killing them normal style would have been fine. It accounts for that. Like, the game goes, oh yeah, like, this is a combat encounter, it starts out that way. The expectation is the players are going to kill everyone in the room. So, you know, if your characters, like, kill this character, they mist into dust, reform in their coffin, and they're able to, like, you know, still get this information out of them a little later. Yeah, yeah, yep. And it's like, oh no, you just inflicted final death on the only source of this next bit of information. So let's see if I can figure out, who else might have this, because she's not coming back. I didn't expect you guys to be so sadistic as to bring this random fledgling vampire to see the sun. Ah, shit. This ain't looking good. God damn it. Ah! Okay. Okay. There goes my healing item, which isn't ideal. But I am alive still. Which, solid. That's all you really need to get to the end, is to still be alive. Okay, I dropped the cure-all, and it destroyed itself. So we are going to need to find some of those bandages I threw away. Which, luckily, since I did, like, physically throw most of them away, they should just be, like, around, right? There's one. Her turned detective daughter that has been searching for her mother. Here's the thing. This is a situation wherein, yeah, no, these people are in a town that is effectively, just like a vampire's pantry. And the character that they killed was literally just like, oh, I accidentally killed someone while feeding and created this spawn. I'm just gonna lock him in my basement so no one, like, worries too hard about it. And no one questioned it because it's like, oh yeah, it's super normal for people to just kind of turn up dead. Or, you know, missing. Because it was a vampire's pantry located in the middle of a fey forest, and it's like, yeah, no, this isn't great for anyone involved here. Yeah, right? It's the, like, nation of Geb. It is the undead nation of Geb. Located in, Pathfinder 2E's, Galorian. And it's the most hostile to human life, environment you can imagine. Being alive in this setting is an active detriment. And also, the reason her information was so important was because she was the only semi-aware fledgling who was able to see where the Iron Tavia, the villain they're pursuing, actually went. Like, she was the only one who knew that information. Because the only other people were the rest of the vampire spawn who went mad with blood hunger. The vampire lord that the Iron Tavia killed, and the Iron Tavia herself. So, it's like, yeah, it's a little important. You're gonna have to use some fun divination magic at least, if you don't get this. This is going poorly. I know there's more bandages down here. I might just have to go up with half health. I found another lantern, so I'm not gonna die of the... Tilly might straight up be unsummonable. Heart emoji. Well, it's good, because Tilly is also, OP, so... Alright. I am doing wonderful. You're correct, Pyrite. I'm glad you can recognize my genius. No, there's no way I make it anywhere I want to go on that vine. Let me just use up the last of this lantern. And I put down a checkpoint flag. So regardless of how much cold damage I take, I shouldn't die here. So as long as the fog doesn't take that flag. Yeah, no, fair. Yeah, no, the more pretentious people make their names, the more difficult they are to summon. Except for Tillian, who has achieved the same effect by just being incredibly whimsical. It's like, actually, this is too much whimsy. This is an obstructive amount of whimsy. Guys, I think this might be game-breakingly whimsical. Which hell of a realization to have. You didn't think whimsy could be game-breaking, but... It does, it is a little funny that there is one person in the world who could ever summon Tillian, and it is, Pyrite, specifically in the temporal region of 2023. Modern day Pyrite can't do that shit. This looks like a great way to die. I need the mountain to be just a little easy today. I want to get to biome 3, please. I will say I'm a little worried about my fake campaign. The Magical Girls one? I don't know, I had one person leave and now my brain is being paranoid and it's like, oh no. Is interest enough? Is this shit gonna get canceled next week and it just never comes back? No, yeah, it is the D&D gnome lore fault. Okay. Well, I think that's it for me. Ah, shit. I dropped my lantern down there, didn't I? And sometimes they'll pick up a friend's name. Yeah. To 30 years later or whatever, when the fact that Tillian is so whimsical is actively obstructing someone's attempt to summon like a dead god because it's just too many names to memorize. The magical girls are fun. You could be watching them on Twitch over on Ami's Twitch channel every Wednesday. At least I'm pretty sure Ami is still streaming it every week. I'm like 90% sure. One of the big things is like I'm worried I'm focusing on the dungeon masters too much, you know? When it's like I'm trying to introduce the villains, but like, you know, I've only introduced two and they I don't know, they might be too dominant in the story. I need to like focus on the player characters a bit more. So maybe I can just stick with the two I've introduced already. Have a little bit more going on with them specifically as we focus in on some player character struggles. Or I introduce like one more. No, because I've also already introduced the woman in purple. And she's like the ringleader of the whole situation. So she can turn up at the end after the first two have been defeated and like make fun of them or whatever and send them back to the other dimension. It's like, alright, fine. You guys have bested our meatiest people. But instead of our brawn, now you must fight our brains. And vanishes into a cloud of mist. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And end session, next session, we start introducing the next set of DMs. That could be fun. I am introducing them in roughly power order, as well as rainbow order. Hey, Jake. This is gonna go poorly for me. I'm like limping along here. But like there's no way I survive much longer. Because night's gonna come and I don't have like heat items. Much less food is my biggest concern right now, actually. Is that might let me have enough stamina to get to whatever health item is next on the list for me. Yeah, fair. Okay, okay. Villain fights that reflect the character struggles are very much a staple. Yeah. I need to hone in on some of the character struggles a bit more, I think. Disagree with me taking that much damage? I hate to tell you this, but the game is very pro me taking that much damage. Alright. I am thinking of starting up another Fate campaign though, just so I'm not like only doing the one, because I like the system quite a bit, and I want to do some more versatility. All right. Well, with that, um, I guess this has been today's Daily Peak, which consisted mostly of my struggle to survive in face of impossible odds. And then eventual failure to survive in the face of impossible odds, which makes sense. The odds are impossible. Um, yeah. Thanks to everybody who turned up. I appreciate your viewership, and I will see all of you guys next time. Bye.